Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Hop into the wee woo squad.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Because we're going on patrol.
Going on patrol.
Doing hard labor.
I am so happy with tonight.
Yeah. Worked out perfectly, I'd say.
Yes.
Been a long time coming, too.
Oh, you're telling me, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get this out the way, right up here at the top.
For the past few weeks, Ian and I have been talking about bangers and mash and how long it's been since we've had any.
I was going to say, I'm with you. Hold on. We watched the original OVA for Patlabor, and I have been wanting to get back into watching some Patlabor since last year. And tonight...
We done did it.
Tonight is the night, and I'll
the beginnings.
Pick up where you left off, because I'm with you on that one.
Now,
we've been talking about that for a while.
Oh yes, of course. Some may ask, what is a show without a good meal to accompany it?
Or a snack.
Indeed.
You know.
Could be anything from chips to little soft loaves that I'm used to getting of the vanilla variety.
Anytime we watch anime, it's always usually Oreos and milk for me. It's just
all sorts of different.
It's a mainstay.
Mm-hmm. But this time, for the occasion, we whipped up something special.
Yes.
Good old-fashioned all-beef sausages. Along with some taters.
Yep.
Mashed.
Yes.
With the gravy.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Perfect.
I have had... This weekend was a very important weekend for work stuff for me. Not only was... my boss involved, but his boss,
right,
and
the entire chain of command, really,
right, where it was going to show up, and it was a
big stink.
It was, they're super nice, super cool, but obviously it's not
the
just
arrangements of this event leave you lacking in the free time department.
100%. This weekend was probably like a year in the making, like in the grand scheme of things, but like realistically, boots on the ground this past
that whole year as far as like planning and stuff goes. Nothing like
it was all like the logistics of it all. This past week was
as far as actually putting it into practice, that's where everything was down to the
right
wire.
right and it was one of those scenarios where not only I like my boss. In fact, I love him.
It's more than most can say.
Right. And so, like, not only do I want him to look good in front of his superiors, but like this, it's also a little bit of like me as well.
Yeah.
Like I want to put my best foot forward too, because a lot of the times, like the people that, the real movers and shakers that can make money happen in like my department,
right,
were there as well. So it's like not only would it just be nice, not only for my boss to look good, but it's also like, I mean, if you want you want people to throw some extra bucks your way for whatever it is, it's always nice to also look good and put your best foot forward.
See, I like to call that trickle down presentation.
See, there you go. And so I was doing my best. I had all my people involved, and everything went smoothly. But man, was it a full week worth of work.
Yeah, arduous to say the least.
And it didn't help that, for those of you that may or may not know, I think we've talked about it on the show a little bit, there was like a brief, like a little hurricane that tried to like come through Louisiana.
Right. Fucking bitch-made storm.
And it was really nothing for us, because like it really like it blew far east fast. And so like by the time it was supposed to hit like our neck of the woods, like it was already...
teetering out.
It already like had blown way over.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal for us in the grand scheme of things, as opposed to other hurricanes that have been a problem.
Oh, yeah,
in the
no,
past.
It's definitely been worse.
Oh, 100%.
It was comparatively light.
But obviously, as a responsible community, we shut everything down for the better part of like a day or so.
Just to be safe.
Just to be safe. So everyone was home. Everyone had their preparations. Again, everyone was everyone was doing their due diligence in this moment, because everyone was like, hey, yo, we could be...
Storms are coming.
Batten down the hatches.
Right.
So, but anyways, so everyone was off at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone, which was kind of nice. It was nice and relaxing, but it really did set me back like the later half of my week, which then like going into this past week, on top of all the other important and very crucial things that were going on, I had other stuff that was like, okay, I love you guys. All that's got to go on the back burner.
Right.
We have to focus on this weekend and this weekend alone.
Fuck out of my way, please.
Respectfully, I love you, but we can't worry about that right now. We will take care of that this coming Monday.
You're on the list. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
So I told everyone, I was like, everything that's falling through the cracks right now, we will pick back up on Monday morning. Everyone will pick back up and we'll make it all happen. And that's all. That's great. That's great.
Right.
Anyways, and everyone focused up. This weekend was great. It was perfect. Everything went just as according to plan. Everyone was happy. Applause all around. And I was like, yes, love it.
Except for me.
Well, you know, Dylan's a hard critic. You know, you got to really.
I wasn't even there.
I gotta woo him a little more than that.
I can tell.
Yeah, I can tell. I can feel it. I'm telling this story and I'm giving all this context because like this weekend, I worked from home Monday and told everyone, I was like, if you need me, try not to need me, kind of thing.
If you need me, sorry.
Just don't.
So too bad.
So I had some time to kind of like relax a little bit and just like kind of like recuperate and get things in a right headspace a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're recording this like on the heels of that. So like today was the first day of like back in the office. Everything's kind of back to normal.
Right.
Again, like
standard operating procedure.
Like I said last week, we're picking up the pieces from what happened. That's everything is
from the incident.
From the incident. So everything is looking good. We're heading in the right direction. And so tonight I was like, we got to watch something for the podcast because I want to do it today.
We don't gotta.
Well, no.
We want to.
I know. Well, I'm saying we got it. I was saying the word gotta because like I have the energy to do it, and if we don't do it
before it's gone,
right.
It's fading.
Yeah. The second I get comfortable and I get all like I kind of like I cool down from work. Right. I was nervous. Like, I was nervous. Exactly. I was nervous that I would get too comfortable and would be like, we'll just do it. But I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm keeping it in my head. I'm not saying I gotta or I have to as a bad thing. Like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. As in, like I'm making it like like
it's drudgery.
Hey, you promised yourself.
It's just another job.
It's more so for me. Like it's more so less like the we're just saying about a job. It's more so like you promised yourself you wanted to get this done.
Yep. You owe it to yourself.
Stick to it. Stick to it because you promised yourself you're going to do it. So
you're going to be letting you down.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to do that. So I was like, I got to do it now. But it's like I said, it was all encouraging.
It's too late.
So and with that, I came home and was like, bruh, I am hungry. So we cooked up. We got to cooking. We chilled out and we watched Patlabor, which is just like I feel like a comfort show for me.
Yeah. It's one of the many feel goods in my repertoire that I'll always come back to every now and then. Right.
And I, needless to say, we're starting this episode now, and I feel great. I'm like, man, after just this storm, not like literally and
the
figuratively,
storm and then the real storm.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels really good.
Reminds me, you haven't seen the Fatal Fury like OVA movies, have you?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well.
There's Fatal Fury OVA
there is,
movie?
Yes.
If that answers your question.
One of them was made by fucking I want to say it's Masam. No.
Uh-oh. He has it. I know he does.
Obari, I know is the last name, but I can't fucking remember the rest.
Yeah.
However, there's a point at which you see Terry just walking down the street before the title screen drops, and he says, "Can you feel the storm? It's coming."
Oh man.
And then the title drops like, what?
Masami
Obari?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to be sure.
You're close. Yeah. I have not seen those, and wow.
Get ready, man. They're fucking weird.
Okay.
But they're funny. Anyway.
Right. Before we get started on talking Patlabor and really getting into it.
Oh, yeah.
We've had some more people subscribe to the YouTube channel and get involved. So I want to go ahead and say that as well. Again, you can type in at Hindsight Studios on YouTube. I'm not sure if that's the same. I think it's Aftermath podcast on everything else, really.
Are we going to talk about this? We're going to mention the channel at the end, though, right?
Probably.
Did you want to just save that, or
we could?
Oh, okay.
But I was going to just say it at the top. Like, for those of you who are listening, thank you. We're about to get started in talking about the episode itself. Appreciate it. Give us a like, comment, let us know how you feel about it. It's been cool to, again, I usually always say this at the ending, but it's sometimes I've been trying to put it at the beginning for people that are just tuning in, with us being a few minutes in. Exactly. I recognize you. You have subscribed. Hey, welcome to the team.
Thanks.
If anybody else wants to join, you're welcome to.
Big thumbs up.
Yes. We got a few people that are still, I think a little upset the fact that Ethan's not around, but it's okay. It's all in due time.
Right.
We're making it happen, and I apologize.
Schedules don't always line up. It ain't no big deal.
Right. Some people like the podcast out of spite, and I have commented. I have commented in response that I appreciate that out of spite as well.
Is there somebody in the comments that's like, the only reason I'm still listening is to see if you guys ever get your shit together?
I'm not going to name any names, but he knows who he is. On the previous episode, because that Ethan was here and we didn't watch the episode, he commented in brackets, liked out of spite.
Oh,
and boo. I'm sorry. It was a special night.
Getting him here was a trial on its own. Bro,
I felt so bad. I got home and that dude was asleep on our couch, and I was like, I'm not gonna put you through this, bud. I can't do that to you. But anyways, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate everyone that's joining this. Our little party, our little band of misfits, and I'm enjoying this a lot. So, with that being said,
now, Ian,
okay,
do you recall how the TV series started, as far as like how the squad was situated?
I mean, for me, it feels like the beginning of the show and this OVA feel very similar. If I'm not mistaken, even like the first movie kind of feels. Or am I wrong?
Well, no, the movie's
different.
Right, the characters are all like established already. It doesn't start from the very beginning like the TV series and the OVA does. But the main difference is the OVA starts with Noah being part of the team like right from the get-go.
Right.
Whereas in the TV series, she's still like not quite factored in just yet.
Yeah.
She's depicted more as like almost like a cross guard at first. Or like something tertiary like that. We don't assume like she's part of the labor force until she actually gets into the.
I remember the TV show pretty well, and I think it's because you have shown me the first episode of the OVA.
I want to say this would be the second time.
Probably.
Yeah.
For either that,
because I know for a fact we've seen the first episode before.
Yes, and I think that's where I get confused sometimes because I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, either the first movie was the first thing I watched, or this first episode of the OVA was the first thing I watched.
The movie was the first thing
That's what I thought. Regardless, I've seen what we just watched a couple of times. I think I get confused as to what's
because we have never finished the OVA.
Right.
So this, everything past like the first episode is going to be like brand new shit for you.
Right, and I'm kind of excited for it.
It's amazing, dude. The second episode is one of my favorites.
That was a really good episode.
Yeah. But yeah, we got all the familiar faces.
Oh,
everyone we've come to know and love.
Yes, it felt so good to see all those characters again,
dude.
And their antics. Oh,
that first scene where they all get off the bus.
Yeah,
and the music that is in that scene as well. It's perfect. It gives me the exact feeling after not having seen the series for a while.
100%. For those of you who may or may not know about Patlabor, it's like an anime that I know for a fact we've talked about it on this show. So anybody that's probably been listening to this podcast for a while, probably
old hat.
It's old hat for us.
One of the greats.
It's
prime
just
Hyun's material.
100%. It's like it is a mech anime, but
never would have seen that coming.
Well, right. But I say that because like I think intrinsically that is what it is. But whenever I think of like mech anime, I think of like crazy action or like
Gundam,
or like super robot type stuff, like big, otherworldly type stuff. Whereas it's like this is a mech anime, but this is also a very much like slice of life.
Yeah, / crime drama.
Right. And it's a little, it feels, even though it probably is a bit more fantastical in certain elements.
Dude, the OVA especially.
Yeah.
You saw the preview for the next episode.
Yeah.
Giant fucking monster shows up.
Right.
Jesus.
It just, it has that fantastical element, but like it feels a little more grounded.
Oh, yeah.
And again, because of the fact that like we're following this like police force, this like special task force that has the ability to use these big robots as their
to fight crime.
Yeah, to fight crime, to fight other big robots that are like
either being hijacked, malfunctioning.
Yeah, they're like construction robots that people are taking and, you know,
running amok with.
Right. And so they create this task force of Patlabor patrol labor?
Yes.
That's what I figured what it was.
Part of the special vehicles division.
Right. And they're basically just police laborers, quote unquote, which are like the laborers are what they call their mech in that world. And so it's like for some reason, because of the fact that there is like movies and also a TV show, and now like an OVA that like are all kind of unique, and they are in the same universe, but maybe different time frames or maybe a different creative decision. It feels an awful lot like Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, not in like text or tone, like or tone or you know. Like
that was definitely more comedic.
Right. But it's just that same vibe of like you have these like movies that are like kind of serious. And then you have like this like TV show that is like more down to earth, kind of like this, again, slice of life, the kind of like the nitty gritty in between stuff or whatever, which are kind of both.
Thing, now, see, Patlabor is unique to me in the sense that normally when I seek out a mecha show, I'm going to be all about the action and the robots.
Oh, 100%.
Patlabor is the complete opposite. The action and the mechs are all fine and dandy, but I'm here for the fucking characters.
Oh, dude.
Because, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's where this series shines the most, I feel.
Yeah. I love the premise of it, too. Again, we may have talked about this before, but I'll say it again. I love the premise of, like, you have your labor. You have, like, your robot.
Right.
And there's one pilot that functions the robot.
Right. Controls the whole thing.
And then they have like a squad car that is like their liaison.
Backup.
Yeah, their backup. Or like it also feels like they're like their eyes and ears. Right. Like a better scope of the land to kind of like help them maneuver more in a way.
Support unit.
Right. And then you have like another person that is like the trailer driver, which I mean, or at least in the TV show,
transporters,
the transport thing, and it's like so each team has like a person for that role.
Right.
It feels unique and it feels interesting, but also feels like a great team dynamic, and it's fun to see the different people and their different, very, very, very different personalities. All trying. Oh god,
lest we forget.
He's just trying to blow some shit up with a gun, dude.
This motherfucker gets to headquarters, and the first thing he does is like, where are the freaking guns?
Target practice, please.
Let me shoot something. Please. Like screaming his head off, begging to be given a gun and shoot something. He goes to the hangar where the laborers are kept, like in the garage and shit, and he's like, hey, this is where they keep the revolvers and the ammo, right? And one of the mechanics is like, yeah, but we keep them locked up.
Yeah,
like,
you can't just have that.
Yeah, you got to ask the Chief Sakaki if you want to open them up. And then next shot, we see him like standing behind him while he's just waiting out there for the new laborers. And he's just like, you want me to open the lockers so that you can get a revolver, some ammunition, and practice? Buddy, if you want to practice, go ask your chief.
Right.
Your commander. And so, of course, next shot, he's in the fucking office asking.
Yeah.
Poor Goto while he's just trying to read the paper.
Yep.
And he's like, sorry, buddy, you can't really...
Can't be doing that.
Yeah, we don't have the time slots for it. The fucking self-defense force has that shit booked for the whole winter.
He's like, I know for a fact that we have the ability to use shotguns. Let me just take a shotgun and do some.
And he's just like, oh, no. You got to apply for that first.
Right.
And then it takes at least a full month after a very strict background check and review before you're able to get a hold of it.
Right.
So, afraid that's a no-go, buddy.
Yep. And at this point,
he starts losing it.
At this point, his partner beside him, Shinji, is sitting there and is like, "Hey, bro, let's go.
Right,
like,
just give it up.
Just
man.
give it
like
up."
The straight-laced facade starts to fade. And
and he's like,
fucking
"Let me."
Absolutely frothing at the mouth.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
How am I supposed to do my job?
Right. Don't be. What do you mean?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
It's just target practice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah.
So yeah, bit of a gun, not that one.
Oh yeah.
And then
he remains consistent.
Oh yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah. Never changes.
Man.
He'll show restraint every now and then, depending on the situation. And
right.
that there's a bit of development there. But I mean, he's gonna be right back to it the day after.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I loved that about I love a dynamic cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think how do you word this? Like, I like the fact that like every character kind of has a flaw, or maybe not even a flaw, like a
quirk.
Like a quirk, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that like makes them unique, but also like holds them back in a way.
Yeah.
Like each character has their own like what I would consider like quote unquote character flaw.
Mm-hmm.
That like
for instance, Noah.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic labor pilot.
Yes.
But she's absolutely obsessed with her machine and doesn't want anything bad to happen to it.
Right.
So she's real finicky about where she goes and what actions to take.
Right. Risks to take, yeah.
Yeah. Ota, I mean, we already know what his deal is. Fucking Jesus Christ. Shinji seems like a pretty straight-laced guy. He's a married man. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
Right.
But holy shit, you better watch it. Because like even if we get a sneak peek of it, like while he's in the fields working, like cutting grass and shit, he's just like staring, like cutting, like chop after chop. It's just, it's like, you all right there, bud? What's going on? So he could fly off the handle at any moment, depending on how you talk to him.
And I like that. I like because it gives it more, for lack of a better term, it gives it more character. Like it makes it more alive and more real. That like not everyone's perfect. Everyone has their own shtick. That they're like their own.
You'll find no flawless protagonists here.
Right. And I like that. And I like the
Mary
fact
Sue's or Gary Stews.
Gary Stew. Beef stew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So, anyways, I think it's really cool, and I love that. Like, I love that. Again, the TV show that we watched. I mean, after watching the whole TV series of that,
gold all the way through.
It is so feel good for me. It has action, it has some suspense, but like more than anything else, it's just a bunch of dudes being guys that are like doing their job, but it's also like, I mean, there's, day in the life type stuff that just makes it feel good. And
if there's one thing I enjoy, it's mechs doing menial labor.
Oh yeah.
Or like civil service type shit.
Right.
We see some scenes here and there, and I believe it was the TV series where they're like stuck in a traffic jam trying to get this truck like back on the road or off of a bridge.
Right.
And it's just shots like that where it's just like basic stuff like clearing cars out of the way so that the transports can get through. Or
if there's two things that Dylan likes, and you can quote me on this, is mechs doing menial tasks or mechs being pushed beyond their limit.
Dude, don't even get me fucking started. I swear to Christ, I'll die on both hills.
I know.
It's two different ends of the spectrum.
100%.
Either a machine being used for its purpose,
yes,
like in the most mundane way possible, or a machine going so fucking hard that it's able to get the job done despite being damaged beyond all repair. It's so fucking good.
Pushed beyond all conceivable limits.
Right. Gundam Barbados Lupus Rex.
There you go.
Fucking Getter. It's like Shin Getter Robo.
Yeah.
The Easy 8 from 8th MS Team. I could go on. There are so
Unit
many
1.
examples. Unit fucking 1.
I knew it. From Evangelion.
Yes.
Yep. There you go.
That thing gets put through the...
I know.
Shinji's mom ain't never been ran through so goddamn dirty.
You're right.
In every depiction. Holy fuck.
Exactly. And again, with that one specifically, I mean, because it's so primal as well, it feels even more.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's one thing to have a robot go beyond that, but to have like the beast contained within come out,
the fucking
even
monster waking up.
Yeah. Even
after
I'm
losing its arm, like what the fuck is happening? I don't know what the hell's in front of me, but whatever it is, I'm gonna fucking kill it.
I'm gonna rip it open
with my teeth.
Exactly.
It's so good.
It's great. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Anyway, yeah.
Sorry. You need a rag to dab the sweat off your forehead.
Swear,
You got a little overheated there.
It's a can of. It's not even. It's something I could go on and on about.
I know.
It's one of my favorite fucking things.
That's why I brought it up because it's very true. Like I agree.
Gunbuster. That's another one.
Oh yeah, Gunbuster.
God.
Wow, you talk about pretty too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so again with this show, we watched. I think. So there's 7 episodes in this OVA, and I think we're going to probably split up into 4 parts again, possibly, and do 2 episodes each, and then say the last one as a finale,
right?
Potentially. So we watched the first 2 episodes. First one was really good. Again, I think I've watched it before in the past, but it's been a while. So
this is a pretty good surface level establishment for every character,
right?
Some get more screen time than others, obviously, but you're able to get a rough idea of how everybody functions.
But you're not kidding. Episode 2 is really good.
Oh yeah, dude.
Episode 2, we get
Kanuka Clancy.
Yes,
her first
Sergeant
appearance.
Clancy.
Easily one of my favorite characters.
She's super cool.
Mm-hmm. The definition.
Yeah,
cool as a cucumber.
Hell yeah.
She just strolls on up on the scene to assist with a dignitary meeting from the mayor of New York.
Yeah,
coming to discuss the Babylon project.
Right.
And that whole reclamation of land.
Dun,
like,
dun, dun.
Right in the middle of the bay and shit. Something that remains a constant theme.
Exactly.
Every iteration, surprisingly.
That's why I jokingly said when they were talking about the Babylon project, I was like, foreshadowing.
Yeah, Shinji starts explaining what that is to Asuma because he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he describes like the history of the program, what they're trying to do, who's opposed to it, what groups have tried to like stop it through extremism and shit like that. And he's just Asuma's like, wow, man, you sure know like everything about this thing. Right. It's like, oh, it's nothing any average Joe wouldn't know from reading the paper every day. Right. Like, shit.
Yeah. And I think I think that is a great natural way of saying that. I mean, how do you word this? Again, it's late and I'm having a hard time.
He's at a loss.
I'm having a hard time with words tonight. There are many examples of people telling and not showing. And like it kind of being spoon fed to you,
right? Exposition,
right?
Basic exposition.
But this felt like some pretty basic exposition, but it was framed in, I think, in the correct way.
Right. It makes sense given the context because they're in a meeting.
Yeah.
Just like terms are being thrown out that Asuma doesn't understand. And
of course.
Like, what the hell is that?
What's going on?
So, of course, Shinji pipes up because he doesn't want anybody to be left in the dark.
Right.
Everybody's got to know what's going on and why this stuff is happening.
Exactly. And I like that because, again, at first, it kind of comes across a little bit like they're telling us and not showing us. Right. There's like some cool depictions of stuff. And like he's hitting all these like really important things.
Oh, yeah.
But I think for me, it really cemented the comment directly afterwards. He's like, damn, you sure know a hell of a lot about this stuff. Right. And he's like, yeah, don't you read the paper? And he's like, no.
You live under a rock?
Right. And that again, that felt like such if it's even just that little bit felt so much more natural than some exposition and dialogue that I've heard in more modern movies that does not have that. And it just feels, I mean, so sterile, boring.
Yeah.
And I just was like, it kind of took me back where I was like,
Right, it's like,
oh,
damn.
wow. It's so
That's fucking cool. I
it's
want to
so-
know more.
it was just so natural and it
Yeah.
felt so effortless. And even whenever I was having the same question of like, how does he know about all this?
Mhm.
The characters in universe also say like,
I just read the paper, man.
yeah. It's like, oh, well, that
I check
also
the news.
that also makes sense.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Right.
It's great. So,
because of all the bigwigs that are associated with the Babylon Project are going
Right.
to be in the same building, an extremist group known as the Beach House gets a couple of ideas going. Now, earlier they're described as extremists among extremists.
yeah,
So,
which that's scary.
right, not a good indication of reputation, I would say. So, they stumble upon a Metro Police command trailer as Asuma goes to like find a bathroom after he's finished taking a lunch break.
Right.
Because they've just been posted like on guard for the perimeter at different locations just to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Right.
And this old fucking lady,
As police officers would.
right? This old lady walks up to him, is like, "Hey, Mister, can't you do anything about that trailer? It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Look at it; it's an eyesore. What's it even doing out there?" And he's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not the person. Ma'am, did you know that the mayor of New York is coming today?" And she's like, "No." Well, he is.
Yeah.
So, why do you think we would have all this equipment set up if we're not going to use it for perimeter monitoring? She's just like, "So you're telling me you can't do anything about it?" It's like, "No, of course not.
No, what are you talking about?
Now just go home and pet your cat."
Yeah.
No, of course he just saunters right off. Like, it just blows her off like it was nothing.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not just kind of out of nowhere and weird that this old woman walked up to him
Yeah.
and asked him about that trailer.
Right. It is also a bit strange that there's just like a random like Metro Police trailer in the middle of a parking lot, but it's
Right.
also like, I mean,
Because of the hubbub that's been going around.
Right.
You may not think so right offhand,
of course.
but a
Got
day after, he mentions it to Goto over the radio,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What are you talking about? What trailer?
We don't have one of those.
They don't have anything like that." So of course he's like,
Oh shit.
right. So he immediately wakes Noah up, and they start booking it
Yeah.
towards the parking lot that it's in.
Here's where the antics come in.
Exactly, yeah. Of course, Noah, being the scaredy cat that she is, of course, this is also like circumstantial, like it's just a bridge she can't cross
Right.
in any feasible way. However, there just so happens to be a blimp flying overhead as they're trying to get to their location. So, Asuma gets the bright idea to contact this blimp,
Right.
and ask them for a lift. Now, it takes less convincing than you may think, because the pilot of this blimp is fucking insane.
Oh, he is on site.
right.
He's ready to go, dude.
Like, Asuma's like, "Please, sir, I'm telling you, this is an emergency. We need your help." And he's like, "Well, okay, I guess I'm on board with it."
Yeah,
And this co-pilot
He's
immediately goes, like, he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Stop it.
He's like, "Shut up. I've been wanting to do something like this since I got my license. I don't care if it gets suspended."
Damn.
So he lowers the altitude down to where Noah can grab on
Oh yeah.
to the blimp,
It's wild.
and they try to get her over the bridge.
Yep.
Of course, she's too fucking heavy, so she just has to kick off from the ground.
And just
boom,
hover
there she is.
other side.
It's such an insane like detour,
Oh yeah.
like a little bump in the road to their main objective. That it's so fucking funny to me.
Yep.
But as soon as they get to this trailer, the top and sides open up to reveal what look to be missile launchers.
Yeah. Pointed at the building
Right.
where all the stuff's going on.
Now, as soon as they tear the cover off of this thing upon Kanaka's guidance, because they've got her like on the phone, she's got EOD experience,
Right.
and they see all these like bits and bobs, bunch of glowing shit, tons of wires,
Yeah.
and immediately Asuma's like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I have no idea what the hell I'm
not
looking
trained
at."
for this.
So, of course, Kanaka, having the know-how and experience in this situation, she tells him, like, it's all just a bunch of fluff. That ain't nothing. It's just to distract you. The real trigger and detonator is going to be under the trailer.
Right.
So, of course, he's crawling up to under there with a flashlight, unscrews 4 screws to reveal the panel, making sure to go counterclockwise and no other direction.
Right.
Oh, man. The tension that builds up in this scene is phenomenal, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Also, like, the music.
It's like the classic, like, bomb defusal scene.
Oh, yeah. They do a great job with the pressure of it. Like, the music is intense. Like, the facial expressions of him is
Asuma looks like he's about to have a fucking aneurysm.
Oh, yeah. He's having a panic attack actively.
Mm-hmm. So she walks him through it, like, step by step, making good progress.
Right.
Of course, timer's ticking down. She said there would only be about, like, 10 minutes going by the usual time frame these things have.
Yeah.
And as it gets right down to it, stop me if you've heard this before, there's a red wire and a blue wire.
Yep.
So, there's she starts off by asking him which color he likes the least.
Yeah.
He says red, and she's like, okay, then cut the red one.
So far, she's been very.
What the heck do you mean?
She's been very deliberate about saying, like, be sure to do this. It's this way,
right.
that way.
They've run into like a couple of hangups, but they've always like gotten through.
But she's been very confident. And for the first time, she's like, "Which one do you like the least?" And he's like, "I mean, the red one kind of looks a little suspicious." He's like, "Well,
that's your best bet.
It's a good option,
right?" Because she knows that this bomb specifically, only the person who made it is going to know which one's the right one. One's a dummy wire. The other is hooked to the detonator. So she's got him up to with a.
It's like it's a 50-50 chance at this point.
It should also be stated like she's from New York, like the NYPD, so she's fluent both like English and Japanese.
Yeah.
So he's like, "What's that word in English where you've got a really big bet?"
Yeah.
And everything's
and a
like
small
coming
chance
down
of succeeding,
to the right. And it's a long shot.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it is.
He sits there, moving between both wires. He starts on the red one. He seems pretty confident, but then he switches.
Yeah.
And just before then, Kanaka comes in and just snaps the red wire.
Yep.
And he's like frozen in place.
Yeah, like
he fucking slowly turns.
At this point she's been
like looking up at the detonator, slowly turns to him, and then she says, "You did it."
You did it.
It's so fucking funny.
She said that in English, which is so funny. I love the breaking of like the language barriers a little bit. I think it's so funny. The funny thing is, so again, she was on the radio that entire time, and so again, he seems to be by himself, all up until that arm comes out of frame and snaps it, the red one, and of course he panics and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then of course to turn his head, and there she is. Right, she got back. Or she's there just in time. It's like, oh man, that's hilarious. I just love the fact that also. Noah is in there saying like, "Please God, save us, please."
Hands together, praying to God.
And she's, of course, at the end she's crying. She's like, "Thank you, God, thank you, God." And it's so great. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, it's super cool.
So far, both of these episodes were a great watch and a great start into the
You're never gonna believe this.
I know it's probably only
but the rest of them. They're pretty good too.
Can you now? This may be a spoiler. It may not be. Can you tell me if the Phoenix makes an appearance?
No.
Bummer.
As in, I won't tell you.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
You'll just have to watch and find out.
Okay.
So I believe you are referring to the Griffin.
Griffin, sorry. Okay. Phoenix, Griffin, same thing.
Birds.
A magical bird creature. We're talking the cockatrice, right? In the anime series, there is this black
experimental labor
called the Griffin, and man, does it
causes
look good.
The utmost mayhem possible.
Yeah, it would be considered the like antagonist. Like the reoccurring rival of the series for a couple episodes.
Oh yeah.
It isn't just a one episode or like a string of episodes. It's like
it could be separated into like its own arc.
Right,
show.
throughout the show, which I think is really cool, and I really enjoy that. But man, does it look cool?
Oh yeah,
it's hard because like I
real
really
sleek.
I really root for our main cast.
Oh, of course.
And I'm always want them to succeed. And then whenever
the Griffin just looks so cool,
but it just looks so cool, and you're like, damn, that like it just looks nice. But it also I think it kind of counterbalances it out because the pilot of the Griffin's like kind of a little jackass kid.
Oh yeah.
So it makes it a little bit better. I'm like, oh yeah, you're kind of a little shit kid.
Right. You don't deserve that, Mac.
No, definitely not. So it kind of balances it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, how cool. Oh, I want to see it in action. But then you're like,
you're a good pilot, but you got a shit attitude, and I hate you.
You got a shit ass. If you know what I mean.
More of a Type 0 guy myself.
Well,
that thing is gorgeous.
I haven't. There's only been a couple of. That one didn't have a whole lot of screen time either, did it?
Well, they've got the movie version, and then there are the ones we see at the tail end of the series,
right?
That are end up using by the Division 1
vehicles. Yeah. Speaking of, I love the discussion between
Goto and Shinobu,
dude,
are one of my favorite pairs in this series,
hands down.
They're so fucking funny.
I love them. Just standing over this rail, and she ends up giving him some coffee, and they're having this discussion
after the disaster that was their first deployment.
And he's like,
Sakaki's like, I wait all day for these new laborers, and I get one without a head and one without an arm.
Yep. Nice.
That's perfect.
I love the fact that like they're both standing there. And he's like, hey, thanks for like helping me out.
Sorry, we had to call you in.
Right.
Like, and she's of course stays professional about it. I don't let my emotions interfere with my work.
Right.
But she then says, I still think the top brass messed up somewhere giving you these new Ingrams.
Yep.
And he's like, you want them?
And then
she's like, what?
Yep.
the new laborers, I mean. And she's like, I want them.
I want them.
And Goto turns slowly and just says, you can't have them.
It's
the funniest fucking thing.
Because like he asks it like it's a question,
right?
Where he's like, "Do you want them?" And she's like, "What? Yes, I want them." And he's like, "You can't have them."
Too bad.
Too bad. It's like
cry
what?
about it.
I was like,
L plus ratio.
I was like, what an ass. But also like, hey, I get it.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
You want them? Psych.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that. I think it's, again, I mean, I don't know. It just feels very real. The characters all feel very real. And I mean, I don't know. They're funny, but they're also just, I don't know. They're just people.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. It feels very natural. What
it's
a cool show.
Fucking show, dude.
It's great stuff. And
I can't wait to keep watching it.
I was going to say the same thing. I can't wait, dude. We're going to probably try, like I said, make 4 parts out of this. And I haven't actually watched any of this OVA except for probably the first, I think just the first episode, because I really don't think I don't really think I remember this second episode we watched.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
all in good time.
When was the last time you finished this OVA?
It was earlier. Actually, it may have been the tail end of last year. Whenever I was going through it with Chase.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe that it has been like almost a year and a half since we watched like the TV series, the anime, because it doesn't feel that long ago,
right?
But it also kind of does in the same way. So it's been a long time since I've seen the original Patlabor movie.
Oh yeah,
I know for a fact we've done a podcast episode on that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we've got podcast episodes on the first 2 films.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
because I kind of don't remember what I talked about in those episodes, but I think I
mean, it was pretty long ago. I know Ethan was there for that one.
Really?
Yeah, Ethan was there for the first one, and then Dakota came on for the second one.
Holy shit, you know more than I do now, because I don't remember that at all.
Memory.
Yeah. I still really love our Zilla episode with Dakota.
That was the fucking best.
I don't think I've ever. I say this with all sincerity. I don't mean this in like a comedy movie aspect of like laughing at a movie, like laughing with a movie, a joke being said, and you laugh with the joke and go like, haha, that's very funny. I mean this with all sincerity. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at a movie, pointed my finger and laughed, paused the movie to catch a breath.
Yep.
Bruh, when the
entire Air Force
of helicopters
flying out from in between every skyscraper like it's a fucking beehive,
like it's a swarm of bees. It's just helicopters. And you're like, you talk about the most comedically not comedic scene.
Right.
I remember Dakota, Dylan, myself. We were all
flabbergasted.
We were having a hard time.
Floored.
We were having a hard time breathing.
It was so fucking funny.
Oh man, what a great experience. There are so many great movies that I think have come out recently that I want to watch.
Yeah.
There's apparently, I mean, not only Godzilla -1, obviously, but like I also really want to watch The Boy and the Heron.
Oh yeah.
And I really think that at some point, I think you and I just need to watch that one.
Yeah.
Screw everybody else.
Yeah.
Everyone else wants to watch it, but I think that they can get on board afterwards.
Right.
You haven't watched it yet, have you? Or have you watched it?
No, not yet.
Oh man, please, we gotta watch it at the same time.
We will.
So badly.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I want more of that.
Yeah. One of these days.
There's a few things I feel like I can't get enough of, and it's like Ghibli films, Godzilla films, certain animes, dude.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's a good vibe.
Oh yeah. It's what I strive for.
Oh yeah. With this past week, I haven't played any games. I haven't played anything like that. But I know you've been going hard on some Space Marines too, man.
Dude, Space Marine 2 just maxed out my heavy.
Gosh, that's so cool.
Recently unlocked the final version of the multi-melta.
Hell,
at least the one with the higher fire rate, because I mean it absolutely just destroys everything.
Right.
Within like a 3-foot radius. And me and Dakota tried our first Ruthless difficulty mission today.
Yeah.
Took a couple tries, but we did beat it eventually.
Right.
It's really fucking tough. I tried my damnedest to get the gene seed for the extra experience.
Yeah.
So many times.
Because you can't die with it.
You cannot go down. If you do, it's gone.
Damn.
There are no second ones. It's just a one and done, and you gotta hope to God you don't get cornered or stun locked.
Right.
But yeah, we were able to beat it once.
Yeah.
Tried a couple more times just to get some more like either weapon data or just to unlock new armor parts and shit, and it just kicked our asses. So that'll be an ongoing project for me. I was able to get a little more progress on my sniper.
Yeah.
I was able to switch between all three of my loadouts, just get the experience evenly panned out between the three. I know it's going to be fucking busted if I keep at it, but God, early sniper is tough, man.
It's hard.
It hurts.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's still fun. I mean, like, but we're tackling like substantial missions, which are already fairly difficult. I barely have any perks for the guy unlocked. I'm basically sniping on a prayer.
Oh no.
So
we're halfway there.
No.
Whoa.
I didn't even make it halfway.
Sniping on a prayer.
But yeah, it's gonna be a process. But yeah, besides that, I mean, it's been super fucking fun, super satisfying to play as usual. Other than that, I'm still in Grand Blue.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still playing Relink. I have to get that fucking War Elemental Plus sigil. It's going to bother me unless I don't.
I don't believe it's real.
It is. I've seen motherfuckers with that damn sigil.
And after, I have to have it. After you told me that there's hacks.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't trust anybody who has it.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I felt the same way for supplementary damage 5 until I got like 4.
Really?
That's all I've been able to get.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So, still grinding for that.
What does War Elemental do again?
It makes all of your attacks the superior damage type.
Oh, right.
Compared
correct.
to what you're fighting.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty much just always criticals.
Right. Gosh, that's
you're doing the most damage possible, no matter what you're fighting.
Wow, that's so badass.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all I'm missing. And then Vasaraga, depending on what it has, it'll be the perfect loadout for him.
Just hack, Dylan. Just hack.
No, I'll never, never.
No, I'm playing. But it does. It makes me think though. I was like, with how hard you've been like putting in time, dude. It's just like I'm surprised that you don't have at least one yet. And that's the part that makes me feel like it's not real. It's like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of regular war elementals,
right?
But no plus.
They don't exist.
The point.
The only way to get a war elemental plus is to hack your way to get one.
Yeah. Evidently.
I could be wrong.
Not for me though.
Not for me. I'm different.
Too legit to quit.
This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Right. I need to kill.
Oh man.
I can't wait to curb stop your ass in these ugly ass brick Owen shoes.
Man. I don't know if I did I talk about the fact that I started up Spyro?
Yes.
On the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
I played a little bit of that and it's just been so nice.
Oh yeah.
I started up the second one and man, I miss certain old games, dude. I miss whenever like
the choir, bro.
I miss whenever like an old game or an old studio would have they would make a game and they would make a unique game or they'd make something fun and they would like make a sequel and then just take all the good bits and then like potentially add some more good stuff to it and like flush it out more. I didn't realize that until like I started up the second Spyro. Then I realized I was like, the first Spyro is really good. It's really solid. It's fun. But then like I started up the second one, and then I started to realize I was like, man,
this shit is grade A.
It just like they took everything that made like the first game good, and then they added like some other fun stuff, made the levels a little less linear. And like there's a little more like there's like side challenge,
serious gourmet shit.
There's like some side challenges that like you don't have to do, but if you do, it flushes out the game to like it's like your 100% run.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to do it, but like so like to quote unquote complete the level, you don't have to. But like and it's like stuff like that where I started going back over it. You can swim in that one. There's like secret tunnels and things, and I was like, man, I just like I started to like reminisce on it. And I was like, I remember that like Ratchet and Clank was the same way.
Oh yeah.
Like the first one was good, but I remember like the second one was like different, but I think it was like better personally. And then by the time the third one came along, Up Your Arsenal, like I remember like falling in love with that game.
Oh yeah.
Really, really loving it. And like it was just like a story excluded, like just like the mechanics and the world and the like the controls of it all was like it felt so much better.
Solid construction.
And again, I say that because again I feel like it's like time and time again. Like I used to really enjoy Sly Cooper.
Oh yeah.
The first one was okay. I don't think I really enjoyed the first one because I started off on the second one.
Oh yeah.
And that one like took a lot of the mechanics and like flushed it out and made it like a lot better. And then the third one took all that and then gave you the ability to play as like your companions and like do some other like or I think they flushed out your companions more. I think you could play with them in the second one. But like you had more missions and more power-ups and fun abilities and I don't know, just I remember I kind of missed that.
Yeah.
I kind of miss like where like I don't know, it's like a fun, unique, special game that would like
We got to play some fucking Mario, dude. That 3D All-Stars collection I got?
Yeah.
We got to play some Sunshine. We got to play some 64. Fucking Galaxy. Those are required.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to love them.
I've played a little bit of Sunshine.
Yes.
I played like the first mission or two of Sunshine, I think.
That is a feel-good game for me, dude.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Countless hours spent playing that with my sister.
It's not bad. I remember having fun with it. If there was one probably game franchise that I am lacking in experience in, it's Mario. A lot of Nintendo stuff. Again, I never grew up with Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I grew up with a PlayStation and PlayStation 2. My first game was Spyro, for God's sake. Because I mean, like, it doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, I was thinking about that as I was playing through Spyro. Mm-hmm. Even though it's the Reignited trilogy, like they did a really good job of like recreating the original game in Unity. Unity or is it Unreal? Unreal. I think it's Unreal. They did a great job. Mm-hmm. And like giving it like an artistic little spin, but like it still feels good. Yeah. The soundtrack, dude, I got to like the hub world. I got to the hub world in there, and like the soundtrack is new, but you can also select to have the old soundtrack play.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I'm like, it's so cool.
I love it when games do that.
I know. So I was even like the new soundtrack still sounds good and is very reminiscent. So I was listening to the new stuff. And I'm like, I'm in this hub world, and it's just like this like chill vibe, just like this open ambient soundtrack that just. I was like, bruh. Mm-hmm. Spyro just like, for me, even when you play the old ones, there's just something so... Spyro is just a vibe. Yeah. I think they did that on purpose. Mm. You start the game and like the first world, the bad guys run away from you. Oh yeah. And it's like that kind of thing where it's like we're all just we're just kind of chilling out here. You can do your thing. And as a kid, like I said, I look back with rose-tinted glasses. I know I probably have a nostalgia vision's hard for that. Mm-hmm. But even still, I think it's a fun game. And so feeling it again and going back over all that stuff. I was like, man, like I miss whenever like a game would come out and it was like a fun concept or a thing that would do, and then they would have a couple of sequels that would like reiterate on it. Yeah. I think there's games that do that now a little bit, but of course, it feels more so like they're it feels a lot like they're beating a dead horse now. So more so sounds like. Mm-hmm. But I could be wrong.
The childhood memories.
Yeah. I don't want to be all pessimistic.
Yeah, no.
Some of the games like I remember a game that like didn't quite do that very well was like Jak and Daxter.
For real.
A little bit. Like I feel like
I'm being real with you. I think the original Jak and Daxter trilogy.
Yeah.
Like just those first 3 games, phenomenal.
I think they're great. I think that like for me at least, like I feel like just the tone changed. Like I feel like the first game was really good, but I think like whenever the second one came around, like it felt like a different game.
Oh, it definitely was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But they're all great. I loved the third one. Yeah. I loved the third one. I love the power-ups, all the weapons and like the different upgrades for the weapons. Like don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. Yeah. But I think it was also, for me at least, it feels like it was like, I think it more so felt a little bit like they weren't, maybe I'm wrong. It's also been a long time since I've played them. Mm-hmm. But like the story felt a little almost like they didn't know what was going on. Yeah. I think it was mostly because my gripes with Kira and Jak and that whole situation. I don't know, it just felt a bit. Right. Character choices didn't really line up, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, they're like things like that where I was like, I don't know if they're. Not saying that it got worse. I'm just saying it took a different turn. Whereas like you play the first one, you're like, this feels like a different world. Mm-hmm. But I talk about a game I want to play again. I haven't played that game in a long time. Mm-hmm.
one of these days, I'm sure.
Oh, man. I don't own a PlayStation of any kind. And there has been a couple of occasions where I've thought about purchasing some sort of PlayStation. Well, actually, I can't say it. I have a functioning PS3.
Right. I was going to say.
But
you got your old 2 tucked away somewhere
I
also.
do. It's over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I actually have not booted that system up.
It's waiting.
In probably a decade at this
It calls to you.
I need to get a controller for it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a controller for it. I need to see if I have any games for it.
Yeah.
Or I know you probably have some PlayStation
Oh, yeah.
games.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Just a few.
Just a couple.
Right. It's not like it takes up half my fucking shelf space.
I just didn't know if you had any. Or I don't know how many PlayStation 2 games you have. I know you have.
I have a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot on there.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Again, I feel the same kind of way about Tomb Raider.
Oh,
I used to have the old discs of Tomb Raider. I played the shit out of those games. I was a big fan of those.
Still gotta finish the first one.
Oh, dude. There's a couple of things that I feel like we need to sit down here and get cracking on.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
The list is long.
Yep. And ever growing.
Yeah.
Our time is so fleeting, isn't it?
Oh, my God. Shut up. Episode over.
Come on. Have some fun with me. Yeah. We definitely need to sit down and figure out what... we do need to finish the first one.
Mm-hmm.
What was another thing we needed to do? Or we were in the process.
MS Saga.
Oh, man.
Whatever the fuck that thing turns out to be.
I feel like I feel like I have to really adjust my expectations.
Oh,
we've been talking.
Yeah. You kidding me?
We've been hyping this shit up for so long,
and we still don't know what it is.
I know,
like,
but at the same time, but what if it's gonna be the ultimate Hyunce award? What if I go in there with rock bottom expectations for how just poor this Gundam JRPG is gonna be? Mm-hmm. And then come to find out, it's like it is a literal gold cache you've been sitting on,
a fucking diamond.
Yeah, a diamond in the rough. Because where did you get that at?
It was at a game where.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn. It was just in the case one day. I was like, "What the fuck is this?
What is this?"
Never seen it before. I only saw a Gundam and a Zaku on the cover, and what looked to be some sort of Final Fantasy / Xenosaga characters on the front cover, so I'm like, I gotta see what this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we've made mention of it ever since. Still haven't played it.
I'm scared that it's gonna be like a super long game.
Oh, dude, it's a JRPG.
I know, and that's what I'm nervous about. Is you're gonna clock 500 hours before you get to Act 2.
Oh God, I don't know about that.
I'm being facetious.
Right.
That's what it felt like for like Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh God.
I actually need to go back to playing that again and like actually finish my campaign. I haven't actually finished it at all.
Yeah.
But because I was just I'm a loot whore. I was just like running around everywhere and like getting all my
kleptomaniac.
I was getting all my side quests. I was unlocking all the chests. I was, disenchanting all the shit I could or whatever.
Right.
And before you know it, I clocked probably 100 hours, and I was like, "You're now in Act 2." And I was like,
what?
What?
Out of how many?
I think there's 3 or 4 of these bitches.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, anyways, as we said at the top of the oh my gosh, if I could speak English.
You can do it. It's the home
stretch.
Like
I said at the top of the episode, if you go onto YouTube and in the search bar type in @Hindsight Studios, you can find all of our podcasts there. You can find all of the About Nothing podcasts with Ethan on there. If you could, I would really recommend that you subscribe to the podcast, like the episodes, leave a comment. I always try to respond to the comments, and I always try to be engaged in that because I think I appreciate it, and I think it's so fun. Also, if you're on Spotify, if you scroll down the episode, there's actually a place now where you can post comments, and I have the ability to view them now.
Mm-hmm. We can see.
I can see. I think at a certain point, I didn't have the ability to do that. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys. I want to talk because I think it really, it
He's
really,
funny.
it really makes me laugh, and it actually, it really encourages me to keep on going, and like not only just on the podcast, just in life in general. I'm like,
Jesus.
Like, or you know, there's some. I'm not saying anything super depressing, but it's definitely like sometimes opening up the app and seeing a funny comment. I'm like, I love
just
that.
what I need for the
Just
day.
what I needed. Just a little pick me up. I think it's great. I love you guys. I think it's great. And I'm excited that we got more people listen to the show. And one of these days, we're gonna get some good stuff.
Gonna do something.
We're gonna do some good stuff. But until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.